So the next thing that we're going to talk about is how to create a portfolio that you would use for applying for a job. This portfolio is similar to the graduation portfolio that you're putting together, but it's much more specific to applying for a job. In this portfolio, you're going to have things like your resume, your reference sheet, and then the activities and awards that you've done. We're going to kind of be very picky about those things. We're going to pull out the best of the best, really showcase and highlight the work that you've done so that an employer can see samples of your work, that sort of thing. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. There's a lot of different ways that you can put one of these together. What we're going to do is we are going to use Google. What we're going to work on now is we're going to learn how to put together a digital portfolio that you would end up using whenever you're going to go and apply for a job. It's very similar to the graduation portfolio that you put together for all the seniors here at Edgar High School. Different in the sense that this one is really tailored to applying for jobs. In this one, you're going to really highlight your resume, your reference sheet, your work samples, the activities and awards, that sort of stuff. Things very specifically that an employer might be looking for. And although there's a lot of different ways that you could put something like this together, what we're going to do is we're going to use Google Slides to put ours together, but we're going to make it very interactive, very much like a web page almost sort of thing. Not that you would use it like a slideshow, and I'm going to show you how to do that. One of the first things I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you go to your Drive. And in your Drive, one of the things that I asked for you to do is I wanted you to have, when you were in middle school, first starting out with your portfolio for graduation, I had told you to create a folder for that portfolio, and I had told you at that time to create a folder that was going to be contained a folder for artifacts. That artifacts folder is really kind of important, and it's very important even for this portfolio that we're putting together. All these documents that you are putting in there, whether it's for the graduation one or it's going to be for this one, for going out and getting a job, we want to put copies in there. That way we kind of ensure that it's going to be around and that sort of stuff. So in the artifact folder, I want you to actually make a copy of things like your resume, like your reference sheet, that sort of stuff, and make sure that you have those things listed in and kept in the artifact folder. So what we're going to do first is in our Drive, if you don't already have a folder created for employability skills, I do want you to create one. And I do want you to create a folder called the ES Portfolio or Employability Skills folder, or something like that. Once you have that portfolio or that folder created, I do want you to have a folder inside of there that's called Artifacts. And again, all the artifacts that we are going to be adding into our portfolio, I do want you to put copies of them in there. Once you have that created, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start creating our portfolio. And so to create that, I want you to go New and Google Slides. Now when you first do Google Slides, it's going to come up like this. And one of the first things that's going to happen is it's going to come up over here and it's going to ask you to select the theme that you want. And there's a lot of different things that are options over here. I guess one of the things I want you to think about as you are selecting a theme is this. When you're looking at the themes, I want you to remember that for interviews, just kind of like I said, even with applications and that, blues and blacks are considered very professionals. When you start getting into some crazy colors, it's maybe not so professional. So like this pop right here, this one, I consider it a little too much for an interview. This one, I think, this geometric, I think looks very nice actually for a theme. There's just a couple things that I guess I would add to it. One, if the employer actually wanted to print this off, all my printing is in white, and so that's going to go through a lot of ink for them. So I would consider that. But probably even bigger than that, one of the things that I would consider, and I'm actually going to flip over to the one that I already have created, and I'm going to go up here and I'm going to change the theme here once. Just have to remember, forgive me. Here we go, change theme. The only thing is when I come up here and I select that same one, if you notice, the only thing is now the rest of the slides, there's no color to them whatsoever. There's nothing. And so that's just, I don't know, I guess I don't like that. I don't like that there's nothing to the rest of them and that there's only color to the first one. This one, it doesn't really work. It's pink. It's not really, appropriate, I don't think anyway, for an interview. This one's pretty good, but again, the rest of the slides are pretty empty. So when I was looking at them, I personally just kind of like this one, so that's the one that I'm going to stick with. Of course, you can always go out online and you can find some other themes to bring in. For right now, I just want you to select one of the themes that you're comfortable with. I'm just going to go with this one for right now. So select one that you would like to go with. And on this one, the first thing that we're going to do, I'm going to flip over to this one. The very first thing that I'm going to have you do is back again. All right, I'm going to have you on here where it says click to add title. I'm going to have you write your portfolio of, and then down here I'm going to have you write your name, middle initial. Now when you put this in, the one thing that I guess I want you to think about is the fact that one of the things I told you already is I want your name to always stand out. And as you can see, my name here is very small. It doesn't stand out. So I'm going to go back in and I'm going to change my name and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. That looks a little bit better. I may even consider coming in and making this just a little bit smaller. I don't know how much. I like that. I think that looks good. As far as font, I can go ahead and I can change the font. I actually like the fonts that they have here, so I'm going to leave them. If you are going to change the font, the only thing that I would forewarn you about is you don't want fonts that are too difficult to read. You want something that's very neat and clean. So that would be the only thing that I would advise you with. So the next thing that I want you to do is I want you to go in and I want you to now create another slide that's going to be in there. And the next slide that you're going to create, you come up over here to adding a new slide, click on this down arrow. You will see that you have a couple options here. I want you to select this one, which is title and 2 columns. And this is what's going to come up. Now up here I want you to click on this and I want you to get the crosshairs. Once you get the crosshairs and you click, this is going to come back. And I want you to hit the delete button or back and it's actually going to remove it. On this slide I actually want that to happen. I want you to click over here in that first one. What you're going to do is you are going to type these words in. You're going to type resume, reference sheet, activities and awards, and then work samples. Now it's completely up to you. What I ended up doing is I ended up centering them. If you prefer this look better, where you don't have them centered and you have them aligned over there, you absolutely can do it that way too. It is 100% your preference. I did go ahead and I did make these a size 30 font. You can make them a little bit larger if you want. You can, again, make them whatever size you want with it. One of the things that we'll do even more so than this is we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit later about how we can add other images in on this slide also. But for right now, just put resume, reference sheet, activities and awards up here, and work samples down here. I'll give you a second to do that. what we're going to do is we're actually going to hyperlink things. We're going to hyperlink the word resume to the actual resume itself. We're going to link the word reference sheet here to the actual reference sheet. But we're actually going to link activities and awards, and we're going to link work samples to another slide in the slideshow. So let me show you how you're going to do something like that. We're going to work on the activities and awards first. So coming to this one, and let's just say that I have activities, words here, and then I have work samples. Okay, so let's say I want to now link my next one here. I want the same sort of slide. I want the title in 2 columns, and so I'm going to create another one here. Up here now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write activities up on top. And then what I want you to do is I want you to select the bullet. And if I just hit the bullet mark here, it's going to create the bullets. I can change the bullet by clicking on the arrow down. These are the other options that I have. I actually think that this one probably looks the best, or maybe this one, but again, it's kind of your choice. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start listing all the activities and awards that I have. If you don't have any awards, folks, don't list awards up on top, just write activities. And don't think that this is only activities and awards that are school related. If you have been involved in things outside of school, absolutely go ahead and list those things that you have done outside of school. So we can list all sorts of stuff. We can list things like FBLA. We can list National Honor Society. We can list wrestling team member, football team member. The only thing is, coming back up by FBLA, we do have to spell that stuff out. So, Future Business Leaders of America. Just like on your resume, my advice to you is list all those, probably the most prestigious first, or list the ones that you've had leadership roles in first. And the only thing is that's different here is on your resume I said, like, if you received awards in some of these things, I had told you then to kind of list them underneath. We're actually not going to list them underneath. We're going to create a separate page for some of these things. So if I have some awards for being on the wrestling team or the football or National Honor Society or whatever else, I will create a separate page for them and I will list those things there. And again, it's not just school related that I can list things. So, okay, so that's what you would do, and you would fill up both sides. And again, this is very small, so I'm going to come back and I'm going to make this a larger font. That's too big. Holy Corolla, that's much better. So you're going to make it so it, it's much more even in size. And then even that, you're going to want to make it so that this is evened out. So you'll have, a number of things here and a number of things over here. Or if I may want to list it all here, and then over here in the future I may come back and put pictures of my letter jacket or something like that. I will go ahead and I will add another slide that's going to be work samples, and I will do the same thing, right? Work samples up here. List my work samples there. And then we're going to come back and we're going to hyperlink some of those things.